Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment on The Weekend Show. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his 65th independence anniversary speech, claims that he had to take some tough decisions to get to Nigeria to where it is today, such as removing the fuel subsidy and also stabilizing the naira. However, some Nigerians have said you met the naira at about 700 naira, it went as high as 1,500 naira or 1,700 at some point, and now bringing it down to 1,465 as the case may be is not necessarily an improvement. However, the president has also insisted that non-oil revenues amounted to about 20 trillion during his administration. He's also spoken about credit schemes like the NELT Fund Students Loan and Credit Corps, which has been created. And also, it is, and this is one of the issues which has been controversial from the speech, is the fact that he has stated that over 300 billion has been given to over 8 million households in Nigeria. Most people have said who exactly are the recipients of this, and other people are saying we are ready to see people willing to come out and talk about it. But the average Nigerian have also complained how much of this good stuff which we've seen on paper affects the everyday life of Nigerians. Insecurity is still an issue. Kidnapping is still something which we are battling with. Inflation, even though the government has said it has dropped highly, is still a different case when it comes to the average Nigerian going to the market to buy what they want. And for once, after several years of having not fuel scarcities or queues, we've seen the rift between Pengasyn and Dangote and how this threatens to affect Nigeria as a whole. However, we do have some stakeholders in Nigeria, in the political space, that have a conversation with us about what they think about Nigeria at 65, where we are and where we should be. In the studio with me, I have Deputy National Chairman and political stalwart, Dr. Ayo Olorunfemi from the Labour Party with us in the studio. Good morning, Doctor, and welcome to the show. And happy independence.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Also joining us virtually, I have Honorable Segius Ogun, who the former House of Representatives member in the National Assembly, also a political leader in Edo State. And Honorable, correct me if I'm wrong, I also know you're a front runner for the Edo Central Senatorial seat in the next election. I don't know if that's too soon to talk about this, but welcome to the show and happy independence, Honorable.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning. I'm loyal. I'm still loyal.
God bless you. We are expecting you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Honorable, I'll start with you. And since we also have Doctor in the studio, I'm trying so much not to bring this conversation back to Labour Party, but can we confirm, are you fully with the ADC at the moment?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Nigeria 65, especially considering the speech and proclamations made by the president during his speech?
I think we haven't done too badly as a nation. I'm sure the Gen Zs will not be happy to hear that. But in the life of a nation, 65 years is not a whole lot. But that's not to say we could not have done better. The democracy we are talking about, we did not invent it. I mean, countries already practicing it. For us, it should have been plug and play. But we talk so much about the leaders that we have produced and how they have mismanaged things. But again, how did those leaders emerge? I always talk about this. In a situation where we have political parties, when people will emerge as aspirants, then to become candidates, you have to go through primary elections, and you spend so much to emerge. Then thereafter, you have to spend so much again to win the election. Then when you get there, those that be sponsoring you, of course they want to get their money back. And then that's where the corruption starts from. People are not talking about governors doing flyover. Has anyone taken time to check the cost of those flyovers? So we have struggled politically, but I believe now we are having a discussion around this. If we keep talking to ourselves, we will turn the corner. I strongly believe in Nigeria. That is why I'm living in politics. Otherwise, I was very comfortable in private practice. But because I wanted to contribute my own quota, that is why I came into politics. And by the grace of God, we'll get there.
And we do appreciate the fact that you've seen both sides of the aisle, especially being in the House of Representatives, being in the private sector, and now I recall reading an article in 2023 where you were very positive that the Labour Party was going to win the election in 2023. Now, after that election, we've seen people switch alliances and allegiances, but my question is, we have primaries coming up next year, and we also do have another election in less than 2 years. Do you still have confidence in the selection and election process from the primaries down to the courts as it stands today?
That's a major problem. It's a major problem. Yes, absolutely. I was very confident that the Labour Party will win the election 2023, but that's not to say they did not win. But you know the way and manner things happened then. In retrospect, maybe Labour Party could have done more. In most places, they didn't have agents. I just experienced that in ADC now, where there is a new party. If you don't go deep down, then to recruit members of the party that will serve as agents, you might struggle. So that was part of the problem. But I would have thought that in these last few years, Labour Party would have come together to build. But unfortunately, it looks like we squandered the opportunity. We are practicing the presidential system of government. And the only way you can emerge, considering that we don't have the what's it called now? That you cannot be nominated as a candidate of a party before you run for an office. So you must go out, and that's independent candidacy. Consider we don't have that. So you can only be a member of a political party to emerge, to become a candidate of the political party. And that process, like I said before, is flawed right now. I am not so positive that anything will change before next year, because most people that will be delegates are already pricing houses and pricing cars because they believe they're going to make so much money out of, being a delegate to vote for. Somebody ordinarily that you are presenting a member of your political party to go out there and represent you, and you're taking so much money from that person. I mean, it beats my imagination why that happens. And then when that person emerges, is he going to look for a whole lot of money to buy votes to go to that office? So if I'm buying your vote, why should I go here to serve you? If I'm going to serve you, you probably get a quarter of what I would have done for you. So these are things that we need to talk to ourselves about. And the Gen Zs came out in 2023, you saw them, voted for Obi, but unfortunately, Nigeria being what it is, INEC messed up the whole thing. And we are not probing INEC. We paid so much for the server. You see, that was a glitch. In 2019, they used the server. They said they didn't use it at all. They shouldn't get away with all this. But like I said, we are talking about it now. Doc is there in the studio. And maybe someday, we'll look ourselves in the eyes and say, this is the way we must go, and then probably get there.
Honorable, so with the ADC, it's a good collaboration, and I'll call it almost a conglomerate of people from the APC, PDP, Labour, across board. Some of them aggrieved, and others coming to say we need to make things better. But you've mentioned the Gen Zs twice, and I know you're very young at heart from your antecedents. We know that, but something I struggle with, and I think a lot of young Nigerians struggle with, is the fact that we feel there's no room for young people in the ADC, especially based on its current constitution of the people who we see there. A lot of young people, and these Gen Zs who you mentioned, think that this is just going back to class of 99. And so it's people who were relevant between 99 to maybe 2015 who are all there. And so ADC coming into power, it's like going back to the former gang.
No, I don't think so at all. ADC is a child of necessity. As you remember, if you remember the fact that PDP had their issues, they still have those issues right now. And then Labour Party, that was supposed to be the bride of the nation from 2022, also had issues. There was a Supreme Court judgment that both sides were now struggling to interpret. And I don't blame the Labour Party alone for that, because the highest court in the land will give a judgment that nobody can now interpret. That's where we are now. And in the constitutional democracy, you cannot afford not to have the rule of law. So the ADC, I have been involved with the coalition. We had a group called the Kutigi Accord. It was PDP and the Labour Party were meeting. And we also had some other group, the CPC in APC, they were also meeting. Because we just saw the way this government was going, that there was going to be a situation whereby there would be no opposition. So that is how the ADC came about. And the old people you are talking about, they are seasoned politicians. So they were put together to be able to wrestle power from this present government. But youths are allowed to participate. You don't have to be 30 years to be national chairman of a political party. Neither, do we require anybody to be 20 years to be the secretary of the party. But they are experienced people. So that's why they are there. But the aspirants can be from whatever age, as long as it's allowed by the Constitution. So it's just strong hands. Like I heard people say, they are old men and all that. Is Tinubu a young man? If young men had come together when they unveiled ADC, if young men had come together that day in that room to say, okay, this is our new party and all that, would anybody have taken them seriously? They would say they are hungry people. They just want to come together to take money from the government. So we have seasoned people that I will not say are hungry. It will be difficult to buy David Mark. How much are you going to give to David Mark to alter anything right now? Or Arabisala that has been the governor, that has been the minister. So these are people that have played the game, and they can unmask the president today. So that is why they are
considering the impact young people had in the last election and how they shape narrative in the country, don't you really think there's a gap with inclusion of young people at this planning stage? Because I'll tell you what I know for a fact. The young people right now are tired of being spoken at, as opposed to having a conversation with them. This country you're trying to save is about them, and they don't seem to be carried along in this process. Don't you think this is a gap?
Yeah, well, like I said, the reason for those seasoned leaders in ADC is because they have experience. But we also have young people. When I went for my screening, I ran for the Senate by-election in Edo 2 months ago. When I went for my screening, I think I was a deputy youth leader or something youth leader. I was a young lady, quite young. I don't think she's even up to 30 yet. And there was another one who is in charge of social media, another very young lady. There are young people in the system, but I think now you are looking at the names that have been uploaded, like the David Mark and the Arabisala.
And yourself.
Those people, well, I am just an aspirant. That's what I'm saying. Any aspirant can come out as long as you meet the constitutional requirement to contest.
Honorable, let's talk about the president's independence speech. He has spoken about the fact that servicing of debt burden has reduced from 97% to 50%, that non-oil revenue has given us over 20 trillion naira as of August, payment of ways and means, 330 billion to 8 million vulnerable households. Do you see any truth to this, and how does it show on the lives of your constituents?
Absolutely. The way you have ended it now, the last sentence, these are just statistics. It affects an average person on the street. You are just speaking grammar. Because let it affect people. The section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution states clearly, security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Is that the case today? The welfare is not that you give me handout, it's the well-being. Today, people are subsidizing, people are buying transformers for the areas where they live. People are buying the electric, what they call they are stretching power to their houses. They are buying generators, buying fuel to get power to their houses. People are paying security, vigilantes in their areas. Some people are awake in the night. In my village, the young men patrol the whole village all through the night. so that others can sleep. And this is what the government is supposed to do. So primarily they have failed. So when you keep churning out statistics, if it does not affect me, it does not affect the ordinary man on the street, the vulcanizer, that woman that is roasting bole, even pensioners, even those that are working. You say minimum wage is 70,000 naira. Maybe nobody earns 70,000 naira. But can 200,000 naira take anybody home today? So for me, they are facts that we cannot relate with. Till I see those monies in the pocket of people on the street and they are happy and they can eke out a living and send their children to good schools. The president is just speaking grammar.
Okay, let me bring in Dr. Ayo Olufemi, your friend.
My leader.
Your leader. Okay, your leader. Just know that we see a lot of people as the same, and so you're still one. So you are actually a leader in one of the most prominent parties in the country. The Labour Party was able to gain a lot of traction within a short time. I don't think we've seen that type of growth in a long time. And after that, we now have the ADC. But it's now synonymous to the Labour Party when they talk about the Labour Party that some opportunities were squandered. Do you agree with that?
Yes, very well. And the first solution to your problem is when you admit.
I didn't expect you to admit to that.
Of
so
course.
That's some accountability.
Yeah. We in Labour Party, we don't deceive ourselves. We admit fully that, yes, we had some problems. And we have also looked at those problems. And we are already using the outcome of those problems in trying to solve the problem of the future. And that is why you see what has been going on in the party of recent, the resistance that we have given to those who believe that they are entitled, even when they are coming from support group, they are entitled to hijack the political party and use it for their own selfish purposes. Yes, my friend, a man that I respect so much, one of the finest members of House of Representatives when he was there, said it clearly that we had problem with agents. Who caused the problem? We had an arrangement to make sure that all our party members at the unit level, there's no place you go to in Nigeria you will not see Labour Party at every unit. That is the polling unit centers. I personally made arrangement in Ondo State. I uploaded, I sent all the, manually, all the agents for my state. But these people said they are going to handle the agency thing. And of course, by the time we had the election, the agency money for the agents were handed over to people outside the political party. And recall that when it got to the peak, Aburi had to voice out. I don't know about the money for agent. All I know is that the money was handed over to somebody and somebody. And those one came out to say, oh, no, some people, they gave us some fictitious number, so we didn't pay. So if they gave you fictitious number, who did you report to? Did you escalate the matter? You never did. And so where is the money? It's back and forth. Oh, we return the money back to Peter Obi himself. How is that the problem of the party? These are people who are not members of the party, who came by way of support group. And Obi himself, was in charge of his own political campaign organization. He appointed his DG, he appointed chairman. He didn't appoint member of the political party. The NWC member were not in his political campaign organization. How do you now turn around to begin to blame Anabure, who was not part of your political campaign organization, as the one that made you to fail? Even having worked with you from beginning to the end, housed you at the time that you had no roof over your head, went to the whole crannies, corners of the country, campaigning for you without food, without money. They cheated, they stole your mandate. We stood by you from the tribunal to the Supreme Court, only for you to turn around and begin to fight the same people that fought for you in that manner. It's not as if you bought us. You didn't give. I didn't take 1 naira from you. Since you began, I'm saying it in public now. I've not taken 1 naira from him. Rather, we spent our money. I was fueling 10 vehicles every day in Ondo State to go around.
Dr. Olorunfemi, I recall on the 3rd of July, you were on Arise TV where you stated if Obi refuses to resign, we will do it for him. And that's because you feel he has aligned with power-hungry politicians. We've seen a lot of politicians from the APC, Labour Party, and the PDP aligning with ADC without being members of the party, hopefully in the hope that the rest of you will do primaries, and if they fail, then they move over. What's your say on this two-sided nature of commitment which we're seeing with this election cycle, of those who are saying we're still with the party, but we're aligning with the ADC?
You quoted me right when I said if Peter Obi did not resign, we will help him. But he came out to say he remained in the Labour Party.
Yes.
And as an organization, as an institution that respects its rules, he has not resigned. He didn't say he wants to go. He said he remained in Labour Party. So we are giving him that benefit of the doubt to remain in the party and do what he's supposed to do. But unfortunately, as you can see, he's not helping the party in any way. As a matter of fact, he has balkanized the party. However, we have our structure before he came. We have our strategy, which made him to come and join us in the first instance. Otherwise, he could have gone to APGA or YPP. There's something he saw that made him to come to Labour Party. We have built our structure. We have the youth who are resonating with us before we became. Remember, the answers, the Gen Z, they came out to say they are obedient Nigerians, not OBI, obedient Nigeria. Obi was nowhere as at that time. And that resonated with us. And of course, we organized from the trade union side, TUC organized a political summit where we had all of these people, including Jega and good number of people. They came and we there adopted Labour Party. It was that adoption of Labour Party that gave Obi the opportunity to say, oh, this is where to come. And he had people within the Labour Party that also lobbied for him. And he came. And we accepted him because he's young, relatively younger than most of other. The narrative built around him was like, oh, this guy is going to understand our ideology. Unfortunately for us, he's not different from the same political class that capital-oriented. You know, they believe in the capitalism, whereas in Labour Party, we believe in social democracy, social justice, okay? Even though, look at the issue of subsidy. We have said it for the opting time. You don't have to remove the air just because some people are polluting it. Find a way of dealing with those who are polluting it and let people breathe. Okay, of course, look at Brazil with Labour Party. They are managing the petrol gas. And they are getting, look at Venezuela.
Well, Venezuela's case, even though they are managing it, you still know they've still been in a tough economic situation. Even Brazil is still recovering.
The citizens are not suffering the way we are suffering. It is painful to note that between 2003 to 2005, 07, 08, till 2010, you go to Ghana with 50,000 and you buy almost all. You buy Ghana. You pay hotel bills. You buy clothes. Buy their clothes. Go shopping. Come back. You know, and yet with 50,000. So don't forget also that before you take 300,000 naira to the Republic of Benin, they will change it to 1,150,000.
So, Doctor, I recall that. I remember there was a time where you could use 15,000 naira to Ghana. But I've also been to Ghana in recent time. And Ghana is very dollarized right now. that most of their hotels are more expensive than our hotels here. Most of the things which they have to buy is comparatively as expensive as it is in Nigeria. But I don't want to go into that comparison. I'm just saying that we do have a global recession which the world is fighting, and as bad as things are in Nigeria, other countries have their own struggles. But seeing what happened in the 2023 election with Labour Party, you took the stride and the step to run for an election as the gubernatorial candidate in your state. After what happened in 2023 and then with your election, do you feel there's anything Peter Obi could have done now that you've also been in those shoes?
Okay. Now, the story of political dynamics in Nigeria is a case of a 1.5-legged man carrying loads. And you say, oh, Mr. Man, your load is not straight. And they say, oh, you are looking at the load. You are not looking at our problem is foundational. Nigeria at 65. Where are we coming from? Where are we now? And where are we heading to? Nobody is talking about that. And it will be very difficult, of course, from the scripture. Say, when the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? All right? This is a country that God wired to be the richest in the whole world, but parades the poorest of the poorest in the world. That is a paradox. Now, why is it like this? All those things that they have in Europe, we have them. What America has, we have them. What Iran has, we have them. What they have all over the country, there's nothing you are looking for all over the country that you will not find in the soil of Nigeria. Now, will it not be funny that with water that we have in Nigeria, you have to sink your own borehole to get water to your house? And you know the danger of sinking borehole all over the place. We can't pipe water from the dam to every house in Nigeria. That goes to tell you the poverty level. Our leaders are poor. They are the poorest of the poor, the leaders. When we are talking about poverty, we are not talking about Naira and Kobo. When there's poverty of the brain, when people are spiritually poor, that is when you see them looking for money that they don't need. That is when you see them gathering money, heavy, stealing money, just because they want to secure their children.
How do you plan to fix that?
It's simple. Go back to the root.
Which is?
Let's go back to the root. Look at the way of our forefathers. I kept on saying this. Now, how were you even created as a nation? Who gave you the name Nigeria? Lord Lugard? With a concubine? I've been saying this for over 20 years. With a concubine that he collected from his friend in Kaduna. That one slept on the bed and woke up and said they should call us Nigeria. Without any spiritual invocation. Without any sense of belief. No, this is what these people believe in. Let's go by way of their belief. You give us name. And when you are giving us the name, you build it around a river. All right? That river in Yoruba land is called Odoya, the wife of Shango. This is not myth. Real history of Nigeria. That Oya was a spirit being. He married Shango and gave Shango power, which he used in ruling Oyo Empire. Rebellious activity came up.
But how does this fix the problem which we
I'm
have,
coming.
Doctor?
Yes, if you don't know where your problem is coming from, you won't have solutions.
So it's our problem from the river, Doctor?
I'm coming. It's a spiritual thing.
Okay.
Rebellious activity erupted in Oyo Empire. Shango committed suicide. Oya, out of frustration, committed suicide inside that river. She didn't just commit suicide. He pronounced some things. And when you are giving name to somebody, will you give your name? Will you give your child Satan as name?
No.
Good. So you look at the Yoruba people, look at Akose Jaye. They look deeper before they give name.
But
And
we are
so,
where we
so
are
and
now
that's
because
so.
of time, Doctor.
And you don't forget, even the Bible,
Yes.
when Jacob, who had polluted his destiny, was struggling, the angel he struggled with asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "Jacob." He said, "You shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel." So now, if you want to solve your problem, go to the root. Stop plucking the branches.
We're changing the name of Nigeria. Work.
Of course, you can change it. We can change. And
Secondly, we've seen
when you
what
are
they did
changing
with the
it,
national
when you are
anthem.
changing it, you change it based on your belief.
So we've seen what
The
they've done with the
Muslims will
national
come together.
anthem. What has it
The
done for us?
Christians will come together, and the new Christians, the new Muslim, not the naira, not the dollarized pastors and.
Yes, but
imams.
Doctor, so the president tried it by bringing in the national anthem because sometimes you need the right philosophies, you need the mindset. Has that done anything for Nigeria? If that did do anything, why would
you only want
some
to,
of these things?
You are only
do it?
reminding us of how the colonial masters deceived us. Because all of those national anthems that we are talking about were created by the colonial masters. And there's nothing good in what they gave to us. These people came, followed people who genuinely brought Christianity to Nigeria. But they came with a different agenda, using those ones as bait. So whatever they are, till today, we are not are you independent?
Okay, I need to bring Honorable Sergius Ogun online for his final comment before we get yours and close. Honorable, Nigeria at 65, the president still has 2 years to go. This is his third independence speech, which means next year is his fourth. And if he doesn't win an election, a re-election, that's where we are. What's your advice to the government on what to fix within the next 2 years? Because we now have just a 2-year window. What's the way forward? What's your charge to the Nigerian government and Nigerians for the next 2 years?
Yeah, I think the government needs to be honest to Nigerians. If we go back to 2012, this same president mobilized, galvanized people all over the country to go to protest against the fuel subsidy removal. And then he came into office and then announced that there is this fuel subsidy removal. And he wants to take the glory for that. And we have also seen on social media when he advised the president then, Buhari, to print money, the ways and means, coming out from the COVID. Yeah, maybe that was the only thing left for them to do then. But in any case, who brought Buhari was the same president. And we voted for him. Well, I didn't vote for him. We are compensating bad behavior. So my own take, that has already happened, is be honest with Nigerians. Stop manipulating things. Stop manipulating figures. Let us know where we are. Let us know where we are going to. The president started campaigning from the very year he was sworn in, from 2023. They started already campaigning for 2024, or rather 2027. People are hungry. Times are hard for people. And you are concerned about the next election. So he needs to take some steps back and look at the people that elected him and ask himself, have I done well? If you haven't done well, 2027 should be the last thing on your mind. So my advice is take a holistic look at the economy. If there are things you haven't done, give attention to them. 2027 should be in the back burner right now. It shouldn't be what you are preaching about, because in contravention of the Constitution, you're already campaigning, or the Electoral Act. And you cannot be the one making the law and breaking it. We should look up to our leaders. Our leaders should not break the law and walk away from it. So my advice is give attention to the people you were elected to govern. That the APC is not doing today.
Thank you very much, Honorable. We will be having more conversations with you as the months roll by, and I will continue to hold you and your party accountable, especially when it relates to the youths, because as much as you are youths at heart, you are no longer a youth, so you need to ensure that their voices take a major role in the decision-making process of your future endeavors, and all the best with your future endeavors as well. And we hope to see you in the Senate at some point.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much. Doctor, we'll have your final comment. What do you think should be done within the next 2 years? Like he has rightly said, 2027 is still 2 years away. So there can still be some form of revival for the country and people in the next 2 years. What do you think the focus should be?
God. We should all return to God. What is happening in Nigeria is not ordinary. The rate at which people are running here and there looking for money is not also ordinary. How many years are you going to spend on this Mother Earth? If you spend 95 years, you won't enjoy yourself again. So, and 1,000 years, it's like one day before God. And he has also created that impression, which is for thinkers. You now look at the time you were born, when you started working, everything still looked like yesterday. When you were in Form 5, when you were in Primary 6, and you were praying to enter into secondary school, you got to secondary school, you say, once you were praying to get to university, you graduated from the university eventually, started looking for a job, everything looked like yesterday. So when you will be close to your grave, everything will look like yesterday. And that is the time that you will know whether you have fulfilled your destiny or not. That is when you will either regret all that you have done, or you will know that you have wasted your life.
So we need
it's
to
not about
refocus back to God.
It's not about how much dollar you have in your account at that time. It's not about how many buildings, skyscrapers, how many industries you have. It becomes useless at that time. So the moment we begin to realize this,
Yes.
we come home according to the word of God. If my people who are called by my name shall change, repent, and seek me, he said, I will answer them and I will heal their land. The land of Nigeria needs healing. And that is the only way any government can survive.
Dr. Olaram, thank you so much. I'm a Jesus baby and I love God, so I do agree with you. I can't fault this. But we also do charge the government to focus on the people. One of the criticisms of the Independence Day speech was the fact that there were no actual timelines on how to fix some of these things. Yes, we need to renew our mindset, which is where the God factor comes in, but also like Honorable Ogun had said, we also need to ensure that we're improving the lives of people in actionable ways that the market woman can feel, the vulcanizer, the bricklayer, the barber, the onion seller, the ginger seller, the farmer can be able to survive, and then most importantly, ensure that the safety of human life is a priority. That's much we can take on the political segment. When we